Welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Another week of Katawa Shoujo. Say it every week, in 3 episode intervals. I should really start making intros and outros for every episode, but it's just so difficult to know when I'm gonna put episode between episodes. So I hope that these every 3 episodes or 4 episodes or whatever it is a little bit more comforting than nothing at all. Anyway, I'm Nux. Welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. We are in the middle of Rin's story. Last episode, I believe we were smoking cigarettes. I can't remember exactly. I really want to do more than one episode session a week. It's just that I would get so backed up because I have all these other shows I want to be doing. I'll be making like an update video for this channel specifically really soon, I think. But until then, welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. I'm Nux. We'll say it again. Sorry. Oh, that's right. We agreed to not see Rin anymore. We went on the night on the town, and she said she didn't want to see us anymore. I hold true to my promise of honoring Rin's request, even if it's against my own will. I try to redirect my focus into my studies, but end up zoning out during classes and only doing the minimum amount of work required. Still, I start looking into my post-high school options a bit more seriously. I pore over my university brochures and various career paths, which is good, because he had to get Lily to kick him in the ass to do that last time. I'm good at studying, so I want to go to a university. Pretty sure I could get into a pretty decent one, too. The only problem is deciding which subject would be best. Kenji ridicules me about subjecting myself to the control of the feminist teachers when I tell him about trying to get into a university. I don't ask him about what he wants to do in the future. I wonder what Rin thinks of her own future. I bet she's not as lost as I am, and if she is, it's probably a completely different way. I feel somewhat disappointed in finding out that I can't stop thinking about her. Why not ask somebody like Shizune? Shizune's got it all figured out, I think. Like, just ask her, bro. Like, even Lily probably has like a good idea of what she wants to do. I don't think Hanako really knows. I think she's probably a little more like playing it by ear. But definitely Shizune will know what she's doing. So just ask her, bro. See what she's got about it. Anyway. I feel somewhat disappointed in finding out that I can't stop thinking about her. Her request makes me worry about her and think about her more than I did when I could go see her when I wanted. It bothers me that I can't. It's all gray, bro. Why are you going to see her? As expected, I eventually crack. Late one afternoon, I get on the bus heading downtown. I try to avoid explaining myself exactly why I'm doing this, and keep thinking about other things for the entire duration of the trip. After a 5-minute walk, I'm standing in front of the gallery. I walk past the door of the atelier, but at the last moment I lose my courage and continue all the way to the next corner, at which point I've turned back. I have actually done this before. I was going to a shoot to film a store, and I asked the lady on Instagram, I was like, hey, can I go do this? You know, because it was one of the things I was just starting out. It was like the second place that ever let me film them. And I walked forward through the street, and I saw the store, and I walked past it because I was nervous, but there was 2 ladies standing outside talking, and I passed them both, and then I went to the corner, looked around a little bit, and then turned back, and it turned out one of the ladies talking in front of the store was actually the lady I was supposed to talk to inside the store, but I didn't know that. She was talking to somebody outside. I walked inside, and then she came inside. It was really awkward in my mind, but I think it was fine. Anyway, at which point I turned back. Will Rin hate me if I go see her? I wonder what she's like when she's angry. I've never seen her angry. The worst thing would be if I actually ruined something by going to see her, like she seemed to imply would happen. But there's no way that can be true, can there? Just one of her quirks. I walk back down the street and end up passing the atelier door for a second time. Well, this time as I continue all the way to the gallery, its owner is standing just outside the door watching me. I thought it was you. What are you doing? I really don't want to explain the circumstances between Rin and me, so I get flustered and end up mumbling something unclear. She takes stock of me and then sighs deeply, looking wryly amused somehow. I hope she didn't misunderstand. Would you come in? Your teacher's visiting. We were discussing Rin's exhibition. Thanks for the invitation, but I really should. Don't be shy now. Come on in. Follow Sai inside, finding that our art teacher is indeed in there. Nomiya is standing at the big desk, contemplating what looks like an invitation card. Look what the cat dragged in. Nakai, hello there, my boy. He doesn't seem to be at all fazed by my appearance. How do you like the invitations? Whoa. I glance at them quickly. They're kind of fancy, with Rin's paintings on the front cover, shiny gold writing. Looks like a weird magic card. 22nd corner. They look fine to me. His face. They're magnificent. I absolutely love the design. And the embossed gold lettering. Fabulous. Good print work, too. You have to tell me when you get these done. What does Rin think? I haven't asked. She said she'd be fine with my decision anyway. Nomiya laughs boisterously, still with the gold lettering card in his hands. That's my girl. It's creepy. She wants to focus on the essentials only. Good for her. Her work is progressing well, too. It seems she's found new inspiration. I think she's been sort of weird lately. It's like she's wrestling with something. With herself, probably, and it's making her confused. She said she had a hard time painting last time I saw her. Seems to be resolved now, however. You know how she practically lives up there now, right? Sai makes a simple gesture with her hand as if sweeping the question aside. Sure. Don't you think that's weird? Maybe it is, still. I think she understands how big an opportunity this is and is going for it full throttle. Is it really that big? Nomiya sets the card down and brushes some imaginary dust off his jacket. Well, how should I put it? There are times in everyone's lives where something really big washes over you and changes you forever. This could just be that moment for Chizuka. I see. Yeah, I think I've had something like that happen to me. I'm referring to the incident that brought me to Yamaku. Neither of the two adults comment on that, however. It might be well that everyone has, or will, at any rate, be surrendering oneself to art and one big decision. And a thorny path, too. Quite thorny indeed. Chizuka has almost everything one needs, but whether she has the will to put through, that's a different question. I should know that best. I tried going down this path, too. Turned away in the end. I don't understand what he's trying to say. Being supportive? Why did you turn away from being an artist? This is difficult, because I don't think either of these has to do with Rin, so... Is that why you're being so supportive? Because you know it's hard? Sai answers me instead of the art teacher. Maybe partially. Does it bother you? Well, no. I'm not saying it's a bad thing either. I just don't get it. Like at the Atelier, it's an amazing place, but it's not being used. It's not been used in who knows how long. Now that Rin came, 17 years and 4 months. I raise my eyes to meet Sai's. The calm, calculating stare, not unlike Rin's own, is fixed upon me. Nomiya's usual smile has suddenly died, too. Feels like the air pressure in the gallery has suddenly dropped, along with the temperature. That's how long it's been since someone worked there. Oh. I guess there's a story to everything. Sai crosses her arms with a quiet sigh and leans against the table. The Atelier belonged to my husband. He was an artist, too. He lived up there. Well, we both lived up there for some time after we got married. We actually met through him, as a matter of fact. That's right, anyway. We were young and foolish, or at least I was. We were studying art, same school, art history for me, painting for him. And just as he said, this was about the same time I met your teacher. Anyway, I fell madly in love with this person, or maybe with his art. He was brilliant. His genius shone so brightly whenever he put a brush to the canvas. Her voice takes on an almost reverent sort of tone as she reminisces about her husband. I look at her hands and notice that she's not wearing a wedding band, and on top of that, she keeps speaking in the past tense. He really was the kind of artist who would make history books, one with a direct line to God. That's what I thought anyway. Silly, isn't it? I think that we all knew that was something back then, even the teachers. That genius. Well, I'd say it consumed him. Everything. Absolutely everything was second to art. Be it social life, getting a job, or even me. It wasn't as important. It seems that artists can look at their works as just a job, you know? It's something more fundamental to them. It was hard to live with a person like that. Hard to be married to a person like that. She takes a pause and looks to see if I understood. I guess the point of the story hasn't emerged yet. That or I've missed it. So, how did you cope with it? My question, probably the exact one she was waiting for, draws a dry chuckle out of her. However I could. Sometimes it was hard. Sometimes I fooled myself into believing that he would change. I pursued my own things too, so it was easy to just let him be. It's not like you can stop an artist from painting if he wants to paint. Plus, being with an artist is fascinating, and I can't say that I hated it. Art schools are full of all sorts of posers and pretentious schmucks. The true artists are lovely people in general. I think that's why your teacher has taken such a shine to our little kitten. She really has the makings of an artist, and a good one at that. She wants to paint, she must paint. Quite so. She's the best student I've ever had. It's just about finding her own way now. Maybe that's why I wanted to give her this chance. If she goes to an art school, it'll be good for her. Artistic expression is about finding one's own place to be, your own limits, and then working with that, to expand them, to break them, whatever works best, but you have to know the limits of what you can do. Anyway, long story short, my husband was a person without these kind of limits, a unique individual, but a human being can't endure a thing like that. He died very young. After he was gone, I couldn't stand the atelier anymore. Tried to forget it. That kind of thing happens. You could say that his flame was bright but brief. Her story comes to an abrupt end, but it doesn't seem like she's going to go any further. Nomiya toys with the invitation cards lying on the table as if doing so just for the sake of doing it. But what if Rin is like your husband too? What if she's the person who has unlimited potential? Sai's hand twitches, and I see that once more that sad look welling up in her eyes. This look she gets when she watches Rin. The look by which she remembers her husband. I doubt it. Damn, bitch. She sucks. She's actually really awful. I hear noises, bro. Sorry. That was weird. I hear noise in my house. Sai stands up and digs in the pocket of her jacket for a cigarette and a lighter. Her hands are shaking. I'm going out for a smoke. Wordlessly, Nomiya and I both decide to follow her after a moment. It's already dark outside. Sai is standing with her back to us, taking sharp, occasional drags on her cigarette. Its weak amber glow illuminates her face, framing her sharp jawline. Maybe it's best to call it a night. I can give you a lift back to school if you want, Nakai. You're not going anywhere, Shinichi. I need a drink, and we're going to that place at the corner. Sorry, I'm hearing things in my house. I swear to God, I'm getting robbed. The teacher looks at the old lady and then shrugs at me apologetically. It's no problem. I'll just catch the bus back. I'm headed upstairs to see if Rin will come back to school with me anyway. I think she's been staying overnight here too often lately. Sai locks the front door of the gallery and links arms with the old art teacher. I feel strange looking at them. I wonder what it feels like to have friends who have been with you for decades, for most of your life. I can't imagine it. The two of them start making their way down the street towards the bar in the corner, so I quickly head upstairs to the atelier door, ready to get what I originally came here for. Climb upstairs and enter carefully. The room is dark because of the quickly falling night, but I can see Rin, or rather her silhouette, sitting on the floor. She got her inspiration back, like Sai said, and moved from easel to painting on the floor. Before I manage 5 steps, I stop, frozen in my tracks. The ironic realization that human cognitive ability is commendable echoes through my mind. From a mere moment of her shadow, it took me a fraction of a second to realize something is awry. Process what I'm seeing. Formulate the answer and blush all the way up to my tips of my ears. Oh, she's just naked on the floor. Rin is sitting on the floor with her legs under her. She moves in rhythmic motions back and forth, slowly grinding herself against herself. Her breathing is so heavy that it's almost visible in the dim light. It's the heavy panting of someone who doesn't have the option of breathing gracefully. Her hips, mere shadows against the dim light shining on her from above, are swinging circularly over and over again. She hasn't noticed me, so engrossed she is in her activity. We all know what's going on here. The deadlock solves itself before I get the chance to think of what to do next. Something in the atmosphere of the room changes. A little thing, not consciously noticeable, but it changes. Perhaps a timid current from the open door, or maybe a minute change in air pressure. The sound of my breathing, even though I notice I haven't taken a breath for many, many seconds. The aura of my presence. That something catches Rin's senses. She stops moving, freezes, and slowly turns to the door. I imagine, not see, the horror on her face, like a fawn's eyes staring at a hunter. I wonder if Rin can see my expression, but at least she doesn't have the strength or the spirit to look straight in my eyes. So she droops, her chin against her chest, letting the mess of her hair hide her face from me even further. I feel like I should either walk out or walk to her, but I can't do either. I told you to stay away. Her words are defeated, painful as if she was suffering. Rin doesn't have anything other than her shirt on. I could see the last wisps of twilight against the pale skin of her thighs in the bottom. There is no way I can back off anymore. I lost that chance. So I do the next best thing. I quickly avert my gaze, even though Rin doesn't see what I'm looking at. I'm sorry. I didn't think... It's not like that. Her voice is raspy, shivering from held-back tears or something else. She is shaking, looking like she's physically in pain. It's not like that. I had no idea what it really means to change, but now I know that you have no idea what I've had to do, all the things that I've passed through, and I think that I forget that I really don't just build up inside and grow and grow and grow and grow until they flow out and flow like everything else that has ever been wrong, and I can't take it. I can't think of the things I want because there's only so many things that I can think of. 4, 6, 7, doesn't matter. It's never enough. I have to let this out, and I have to destroy. Forget it. It's nothing else. Rin is mumbling her words in the air more than talking to me. It is rambling, ranting, raving speech of a lunatic, even and steady in tone, but taking form of a never-ending stream of words and almost simultaneously spawning from between her lips. Feels like she forgot it is me who is present, or that someone is actually present. Maybe she vaguely recognizes what is real and what is not. Maybe in her mind I am the voice inside her head. I look down at Rin's sorry figure covering the floor with only the white shirt of her usual attire on. It neither preserves her modesty that is gone, nor her body warmth that she doesn't seem to care about. She looks more broken than I imagined a human person being capable of, and the hospital and the school have given me some real perspective on that. I remember the hazy blue smoke, and myself wondering what Rin would do for the sake of art. The realization that Rin really is always serious hits me with its entire weight. She really and truly would destroy herself if her art required it. I thought she was so silly with her strange ways, talking about personal change as if it was something sudden and concrete, like waking up. I had no idea. This is her, laid bare in front of my eyes, in all possible meanings of the word. Complete isolation here on the top floor of this building, in this room, in her mind. Day after day, working on her paintings with no heed paid to anything else. Breaking herself to reach that which she wishes to reach. That was a weird stomach sound. This obscene act that she does for reasons I'm not sure she herself understands. Why does she have to do this? I'm trying to connect the pieces, but I don't understand. I feel sad, scared, excited, disgusted, worried, and a number of emotions I can't remember the name of now. I feel conflicted. I should go. I'm really sorry. It doesn't matter. My voice is dry and quiet like sandpaper coming out of my own throat. I really am sorry. Sorry for seeing this. I don't want to see Rin like this. All I can see is her sadness, her stress and despair. Is this what a limit means? How could Sai and Nomiya let Rin go this far? Or is it me who's to blame? I almost walk out right there, but at the last moment I turn around, steel myself, and walk to Rin, crouch behind her, lightly touch her forehead. She doesn't resist or react. I can't leave her like this. She's not well. She feels like she has a fever, freezing cold and burning hot at the same time. I wonder if she's got sick from staying out all night with me back then. It seems she's prone to getting ill. There's a blanket on the couch, but I wrap my arms around Rin instead of fetching it. She does not resist my clumsy hug, only slumps her head lower, deepening the shadows hiding her face from me. What are you doing? Nothing. I'm not embracing her out of love, nor out of forgiveness, for am I in love, or is she sorry? I just want to hug her. For a moment, the only sound in the room is her heavy breathing. My body warmth shared between two people is barely enough, but slowly, painfully slowly, it spreads from me to her. The small warmth returning to Rin makes me more conscious of her body against mine. Even in the darkness, I could feel the fleeting scent of Rin's hair, the sweat on her skin, the dried paint stuck in her shirt. I feel the hardness of her bones and the softness of her flesh. Her heart beats echoing mine out of the rhythm, just like always. The hot blood rushing inside me reminds me of why I said what I said back then, why I came here after that, and why I'm here tonight again. Why am I hugging her now to keep her safe against the cold and the sadness? Rin has really grown on me inside my heart. Yeah, claiming a small part of it as her own without even particularly trying. Rin. Even if she wanted to push me away, I can't help this feeling. Are you alright, Rin? I'm not. I think I broke. I painted some really good things. Incredible. But it hurt me. I can't handle this. Her voice cuts out. Is there no more words for her to say? It's not an angry voice, nor a sad voice. It is a lifeless voice. I pet her head and shoulders, the physical equivalent of saying, there. It's not like I could reassure her with the sweet nothings that people are supposed to say in this kind of situation. I'm not really sure she would even listen or be reassured. She didn't react much to my embrace either, as if she didn't care. Maybe she doesn't. At least she doesn't care if she looks sad or not. There are no facades, no attempts to explain herself, no faux happiness. Rin is honest. So, what is it? You're my friend, right? Right? Will you do me a favor? I can't fix this, but I'm not finished yet. Her dry voice is a mere whisper, but the strength, her last, is in it, delivering her meaning much more clearly than her words. I could feel Rin's heart beating against my chest like a scared little bird. Her entire body is shivering from her fever, from her fear, from her despair. My brain is fast, becoming overloaded with the myriad of thoughts this encounter spawned, but I have to push them all aside. I snuggle my nose against her earlobe, which is soft and cold, and her hair, which smells good and tickles me. Alright, I'll do it.